Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga Journey 108. I'm Nancy, and today we're going to focus on Piriformis Syndrome. Now, Piriformis Syndrome is the inflammation of the piriformis muscle, which is located behind one of our biggest muscles, the gluteus maximus. And when it gets upset, when it gets flared up, inflamed, it can cause havoc on the rest of the leg, like all the way from the buttocks, all the way into the ankle, and can even cause things like plantar fasciitis, the last health issue I did. Now, this can help out with sciatica, or what tends to get misdiagnosed as sciatica, because actual sciatica comes from herniated discs or something like that in the lower back. But this one comes from an inflammation of the piriformis muscle that impacts the sciatic nerve, which runs from the spine and then all the way down the back of the leg. So, with no further ado, we're going to get warmed up, because the first thing we need to do before we start stretching and activating that muscle is to warm up our whole body. So let's begin seated. Let's begin bringing some attention to our breath, settling our mind. So we're not approaching this as, oh, I got to manage my piriformis. No, we're here for ourselves. We're here to give ourselves a gift of movement, of opening, of breathing. A lot of times when we have some kind of injury, it's really hard to maintain a practice that can alleviate our pain, because it forces us to confront that pain every time. And as we know from our monkey mind doesn't like any kind of discomfort of any kind. So let's try to move out of monkey mind by breathing deeply and mindfully. And make the shift. The first shift is to step away and watch the monkey mind. Watch it do its thing. And yet be unruffled by it. And that's how we slide more into a sage mind. And we're going to approach this whole thing with curiosity. So we're not having that heavy reluctance coming to the mat to work on our injury. We're coming to explore our body and how it is right here and now. Okay, so with that, let's begin moving this body. We're going to inhale to rise up. And we're going to exhale to rainbow our hands out to the right side. Inhale the arms long up. And exhale over to the left. Let the breath dictate the movement. Let the movement slow down the breath. And let's come down to the center. Let's bring our soles of our feet together in butterfly. Kind of give a little flutter. Take hold of the shins. As we inhale, we're going to push the chest forward, look up. And as we exhale, we're going to rock back on the tailbone, pull the arms. Inhale to rise. So like we're doing a bit of a seated cat-cow. If you're familiar with yoga, this will be familiar. We're extending the spine, lifting the chin, and exhaling, finding a stretch in our curled spine. One more. And drop it back. Okay, we're going to roll on over to hands and knees. We're going to take a pause here. We're going to inhale the left leg up. And once we find our balance, we're going to inhale the right arm up. Okay. Gather the navel in. And watch out for that hip. It likes to climb up because we like to get really high. We're not going to go high. We're going to keep it nice and level. Okay, and as we exhale, we'll bring knee to elbow. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl in. Make sure on that exhale, we're drawing the navel right up and in. So here the spine is not neutral. It's like our cat. But then we come out to neutral. Let's set the hand. Let's press the foot toward the sky. And we're just going to press it up. Just a little, it's not very big movement at all. Don't swing out to the side, just little presses. Up and up. Long breath, little move. Just kind of activating all the glutes at this point. And reach it out and settle. Let's inhale the right leg up. Find our balance. Oh, crawl that hip down so it's level. Reach out with the left hand. Okay, once you have that extension and the balance, exhale, draw the navel in and up, curl the spine, press it into the hand. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale to curl in. Last one out, reach it out, settle the hand, hips nice and level. We're gonna bend the sole of the foot to the sky, little pulses. We wanna keep from having this be a wing. We just wanna come straight up with the knee and with the thigh. And extend down and out. And lower it down, take a cat-cow as a reset. Inhale. Exhale, push in. And okay, now we got the core nice and engaged. Let's roll on up to our knees. We're gonna keep our hands at our hips. Just do a few, press the hips forward, look up. Exhale to neutral. Keep the spine nice and long, but tuck the chin. Inhale, press it forward. And exhale. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, look up. Exhale to neutral. Inhale, squeeze, and exhale. So just starting to fire up the front body, the back body, the whole torso, the thighs. A lot of times our Piriformis Syndrome arises from tight hamstrings, tight quads, hip flexors. So we're going to hit all those key points, as well as the piriformis itself. All right. Hands to the top of the mat, spread them out nice and wide, tuck the toes. We're in our first downward dog. We'll pedal out the feet, get comfy here. Let's check our space by coming out into plank first. See, we got a nice long body, okay? Now don't move the hands or feet. Bring it back on up. So we want to get lots of length through the upper body as well as a stretch for the legs. A lot of people take a downward dog like this because they're really married to getting the heels to the ground. And then we're losing the opportunity for our spine to grow long. Okay, we're gonna do a few little up dog, down dog variations. It's very important to keep hold of the core for this one. Inhale to come out into plank. Drop the hips if it feels okay. In core, lifting the lower abs toward the chin. Exhale back down. Inhale, our up dog variation. Exhale down. You know, if that hurts the lower back at all, if there's any kind of pinchiness, then we just come into plank and exhale back up. Inhale and exhale. Let's look to our hands, step walk or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold in. Let's hold here. Get a nice big stretch through the hamstrings. And we're trying to hinge at our hip, long through the spine. Maybe take opposite palm to opposite elbow. Let's release our elbows, bend the knees, draw the navel in, climb all the way up, shoulders roll back, and my head gets cut off. Okay, so here up to standing. Let's keep the feet about hip width apart. We're gonna inhale, press the hips forward and up, stretch the front body. Exhale, dive forward, soften the knees as you come down. I'm gonna roll on up on the inhale. Exhale, sweep it all the way down. Inhale to rise, my hands disappear. Exhale, fold. Roll it on up, reach it on up. And we're gonna take this left hand, peel it behind us. The right hand's reaching up. Maybe we take that left hand and make it come all the way around the outside of the right thigh. Keep pressing the hips forward. Look down at your right heel. Inhale to come up. And we'll switch. So we can either just hang the right hand down behind us, or we can curl it around the left thigh. Pull the right shoulder down, look past it to the left heel. toes. Namaste. So let's all come to the top of our mats. Inhale to rise. Exhale to swan dive. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to plant the hands. You can either step back or hop back. If you hop back, land on slightly bent elbows. We'll all lower down together. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. We're going to inhale the right leg up, stack the hips this time. Unlike our bird dog, the right hip is coming way above the left hip, and we can exhale, bring the heel to the glute. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heel to glute, knees reaching up to the sky. Maybe we see our toes underneath our left armpit. Those here, high toes. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, we're going to bring it in. Set that foot at the top of the mat, spiral the back foot, and we come up into our warrior two. Okay, we want the shoulders right above the hips. We want the Tupperware closed. Okay, what is our Tupperware? Our Tupperware is our core, and the corners are the hip bones and the lower ribs. So a lot of times when we're in this warrior two pose, we tend to kind of let our Tupperware go, and that causes a sway back. So let's draw it in, sink the tailbone, lift the pubic bone, and settle in. We're going to flip the hand, reach it on up. And look up at that hand if it feels good for the neck, or just look past the tricep. And as we exhale, elbow comes to knee, we reach out into side angle. A lot of options for side angle. Stay right here. We can bring the left hand around, curl it around the right thigh. Some of you can get the hand down to the floor, very close to the foot. Let's make sure we're not caving the left shoulder in. Maybe we get a bind. My friends who are in a bind can go ahead and release. Come back to get long. And come all the way up. Pivot the toes. Let them be slightly pigeon-toed. Inhale here, we're gonna bow forward. Walk the hands back in line with the feet. Crown of the head reaches for the floor. Let's sink the weight into the toes. Spiral the inner thighs out. Feel the hamstrings spreading along the back of the legs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale to rise, and we'll pivot the left foot out. Right into warrior two. Okay, let's find our Tupperware. Get all the lid corners snapped in. Someday we'll get this thigh parallel to the ground. Not a race though. Make sure we have some weight in the back foot. A lot of times we overload our front thigh. Flipping the left hand, reach it up to the sky. Right hand goes down the back leg. We can look up at that palm if it feels good, or look past the tricep toward the wall over there. And we'll come on, settle the elbow on the thigh. Reach overhead. We're trying to find a long line of energy from the outside of the right foot all the way out the fingertips. So do this before we start coming into any kind of modification, any kind of variation. Okay, once you got that, try to keep that as you explore the other possibilities. So the right hand comes to the left thigh. Maybe the left hand comes to the floor. Okay, now did the right elbow cave in? Can you put it back? If you can't, just come back. It's okay. You can take a bind if you like. Don't forget the breath. Okay, as we let's finish our next exhale. If you're bound, come on out. We'll all meet up here in the full expression of our side angle. And we'll come on up, square the feet. Toes pointing out to the side this time. We are sliding into goddess. Let's settle the hands on the thighs. We'll inhale, lift the heart. As we exhale, lead with the heart. Inhale to roll up. Exhale, dive. Like your swan dive. Curl up on the inhale. Exhale. Okay, next exhale. Hands come to the ground. We straighten the knees and pivot the toes. Heels wider than the toes. Come straight down with the crown of the head. Okay, if it's available, maybe we grab the toes. with our peace fingers. Elbows bend out in opposite directions. On our next inhale, we'll flat back. Exhale, hands to hips. Keep the flat back. Little tiny micro bends in the knees. Let's come all the way up. Press the hips forward. And let's come out. We'll pivot the right foot. Take a breath in our warrior. And then as we exhale, spiral it down. Step it back. Go straight to downward dog or take a vinyasa. Keeps the body nice and warm between our static poses. Okay, I pulled a bit of a trick on you guys because I realized as I was editing that I didn't do the left side here. So inhale the left leg up to the sky, stack the left hip above the right. And on your exhale, we're going to bend the heel in toward the glute with the knee up to the sky. And so just continue with your breath, inhaling for long leg, exhaling to bend in toward the glutes. And then on the next one, we'll come back down to downward dog. All right, finish the exhale, look ahead, step, walk, or float to the top of the mat. We inhale the long spine. We exhale to fold in. Inhale to come all the way up, push the hips forward, and exhale to namaste. Okay, let's go again. Inhale to rise. Exhale to swan dive. Inhale a flat back. Exhale, hop or step. If you hop, slightly bent elbows so we can lower down. Those are our shock absorbers, our elbows. Don't want to lock them out. Exhale to down dog. Okay, this time our right leg comes up and straight back. So just like in our bird dog, we don't want to lift the hip. We want to keep hips nice and square. Push out from the fingers. And exhale, step it forward, lower on the back knee. Coming into our Anjaneyasana. We're going to inhale to rise up. Okay, what are we doing here? We're trying to find an opening in the left thigh. Get some action happening in the right thigh. If it feels good, interlace the fingers. Lean your skull into the back of the hands. Coming more deeply into that quad right there. Okay, inhale to rise up, exhale, hands to either side of the foot. If you need blocks right here, that'll be great. We're gonna do a little hamstring work. So as we exhale, we're gonna send the hips back. Inhale, come forward into our lunge again. Tuck the toes, lift the knee. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale to come forward, lower the knee. Exhale to slide back. This is half Hanumanasana. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to lift up. Now if you tried both of these, so on the next cycle of breath, we're going to stay in our hamstrings. So you can either choose to be up here or in our half Hanumanasana. So make your choice, wherever is going to open the hamstring for you. And you can either flex the foot up, the right toes off the ground, or settle them on the ground. So kind of you can play with that, see what feels good. See where your edge is today. Every inhale we grow long through the crown of the head, from hips to crown. Every exhale we find our surrender. Okay, let's come on forward. Okay, we can do this on the back knee, but if you're feeling spunky, we'll come up onto our crescent lunge and reach it on up. Working into that hip flexor. At the same time, we're working into the stabilizer, including the piriformis in our right hip. Okay, this next stage we probably will need blocks. So we're going to come on forward, settle the hands on the ground, step the right foot back about halfway, and lift up with the left leg. Okay, so again, level out the hips. As we exhale, we're going to bend both knees in, nose to knees. Inhale to straighten out. Yeah, we're working our stabilizers. Activate them before we stretch them. Okay, now we're gonna see if we can hold here. So you can maybe lift one arm. All right, that feels pretty good. Maybe lift the other arm. That feels pretty good. Notice which side feels a little harder. And then maybe we get both arms up. And settle both hands. We're gonna bring the left knee behind the right, and we're gonna come sitting down into a twist. Now, this might be a little intense. If you can't get the right sit bone on the ground, here, this is what this looks like. If you can't get the right sit bone on the ground, just extend the left leg. You still get the benefit of stretching that, the stabilizer there. So what we're gonna do is sit up nice and tall. We're gonna squeeze this right knee in toward the left side of the chest. Okay, we wanna cross the midline. Right hand comes around behind, left hand reaches up. Get lots of space on the left side body, outside of our twist. Maybe we can hook the elbow and then look over the right shoulder. Keep sinking through the right sit bone. Inhale. Exhale, release. We're gonna come forward, find our blocks. Right foot goes down, left one comes up. Here we are. And then send the left foot down, fold over both legs. Soften the knees, roll on up to standing. Okay, other side. So let's inhale, vinyasa our way back down. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale for length. Exhale, hop or step. And exhale to lower. Inhale, sweep the chest forward in our up dog. Exhale to down dog. And when you're ready, we're gonna send that left foot up and back straight as an arrow, as much as we can. We're not lifting, we're nice and square. Keep sinking through the right heel. And on our exhale, we'll bring that knee in, top of the mat, lower on the back knee. And come on up to our Anjaneyasana. Get the shoulders over the hips as much as possible. Interlace the fingers, lean into the hands, elbows wide. We're trying to lift the lower belly away from that left thigh as much as possible. The heavier we can make our hips here, the more opening we get in our psoas, our hip flexor. All right, let's inhale on up. Exhale on down. Offer the heart forward on an inhale. Exhale to slide the hips back into half Hanumanasana. Inhale forward, lift the back knee. Exhale, lift the hips high. We're hamstring up high. Inhale, lower the knee. Exhale, slide the hips back. Inhale, lift the knee. And exhale. So we're going to choose our hamstring stretch. If we want to be up here, that's great. Or if we feel like we can access it better down here, either way. If you want to ramp up the tension, it doesn't matter if you're up here or on the ground. You're going to pull your left heel back and kind of push your right leg forward without actually moving them. All right, come on forward. We're going to step that left foot back about halfway. Lift the back toes. Come up into our airplane variation to start. Inhale, and as we exhale, both knees bend, nose to knees. Inhale to come along. Exhale to curl in. And make sure on the extension, the tendency is to really lock out that standing leg. Let's not do that. Use the muscles. Okay? A little micro bend will help engage the muscles. Okay, last one. Let's hold it out here. Let's test. Okay, left arm up feels pretty good. Right arm up. Okay, that one's a little bit different. Yeah, maybe both come up. And we really enjoy the activation in our stabilizers. and enjoy the wobbles too. The wobbles are part of the journey. So we're gonna bring that left knee behind, right knee behind. Left one's crossed over. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Again, if you can't get both sit bones level on the ground, extend. We want those sit bones nice and level. All right, so start to turn the rib cage, the right rib cage into the thigh. Left hand comes behind. Reach up. This is the outside of our twist over here, so we need lots of space. And then maybe the elbow comes across. If it doesn't, just hug the thigh in. Look over your shoulder, behind you. We want to feel something here. Any kind of juiciness, sensation, we want it in the glute. Working deep in the glute. If you're not feeling it, try to sit up a little bit taller. Try extending the leg. And let's release on that exhale. Come forward, find our blocks, extend out. And settle the right foot next to the left foot. Melt over the legs. Shake out the head. And slowly roll up to standing. Shoulders roll back and the head comes up last. Just kind of feel out your body. Feel what your body's doing right now. We are going to come into a pose that specifically helps piriformis aggravated sciatica. We're going to cross the right foot over the left. Okay? Square out the hips. Make sure the left leg is not locking out. And we're going to come forward. This is a great place to get our blocks, and I'll show you why. Okay, if your hands come easily flat to the ground and you have that perfect hip crease going on, then yeah, keep your fingers here. But if you're reaching for the ground like this, let's get the blocks involved. Okay, we want to sink our heart as much as possible. And now to find this stretch, we're going to sway the head to one side. The hips are going to go the other way. And we're going to sway back. Okay, what we're doing is we're finding the stretch that most serves us. You notice when you come over to the right, it works more up into the hip. And as you swing over to the left, you're getting a little more hamstring. That might be opposite for you, but we really want to work into that gluteus, under the gluteus. So find where that might be. Slowly, slowly searching. Explore this pose. And let's come halfway up. We're going to do the same thing, switch. This time left over right. Again, we want to soften through the back of the right knee. And then we want to melt over the legs. Then we're going to sway and find where that hip, where we can reach into that, deep into the glutes. Keep the breath long. Explore the body, explore the piriformis, explore the whole back of the leg. Curiosity rather than expectation. Let's inhale a flat back. Set both feet side by side and melt over the legs. Okay, the more we can close this gap between the thighs and our rib cage, the more we can work in to those muscles. So bend the knees enough, give your thighs a nice big hug, pull the crown of the head low, and then start to lift the tailbone, the sit bones to the sky. And let's release the arms. Let's get a nice long spine. Plant the hands, step or float back into our plank. And exhale to lower down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. And on our next, after we finish our next exhale, we'll look ahead and we'll hop to the hands and come down onto our bums. And from here, let's roll all the way onto our backs. And hug the knees in. Pull the knees together. And then make some circles. Okay, feet close to the sit bones, knees up to the sky, arms alongside the body. As we inhale, we're gonna lift the pelvis. Arms rainbow back overhead. Exhale to lower back down. My prop friends back there. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, rainbow back down. Let's get some intelligence. Lower back, mid back, lower back, tailbone. Inhale, lift, lower, middle. Weight comes into the shoulders. Exhale, zip it in. Middle. Tuck the tailbone to the end. There we go. Inhale, coming on up. And exhale, lowering down. Okay, this time let's keep our arms alongside the body so we can inhale and press into our feet. Lift the hips. Settle in here. Maybe we interlace the fingers and roll onto the shoulder heads. Try to keep from clenching the bum. So pull the knees long. Firm the outside of the bum instead of clenching the into the midline. And let's release the hands. Top of the back, middle of the back, lower back, and sacrum. Sway the knees from side to side. And we're going to take the right leg, cross it all the way over the left knee. And we're going to pull the knees into the chest. Again, we want the right knee to be coming toward the left side of the chest, across the midline. Okay, so pull that in. You can either hold on to the shins, hold on to the thighs. You can even hold here if that's as far as it's going. Well, what are we looking for? We're looking for something in the right hip flexor. Yeah, our favorite place. This is our stretch. We've activated that muscle and now we're giving it some lovely stretches. Notice how your breath, notice how you can breathe into that muscle. Notice how the breath becomes a little internal massage. Especially the inhale. Okay, let's switch sides. So cross left leg over right. We're going to keep the knees nice and close together. We're going to pull the knees in. If you're a yin aficionado, this is a shoelace pose. So we want to find sensation in the outer left hip. So either holding onto the shins, holding onto the thighs, making sure the left knee is coming toward the right side of the chest. And then pulling the tailbone back down toward the ground. Melt through the shoulders and the face. They don't need to participate. Let everything else be soft. Find the target area and hang out with it. And let's unravel, give the legs a little shake. Hug them in, keep the right knee in. Coming down for a twist, so let's bring the right arm out to the side. Pull the right knee across the body, roll onto the left hip. Look out over the right shoulder, take some big breaths into the sacrum. And come back to center. Both knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze. Keep the left leg. Left arm comes out at a T and we pull the left leg across, settle onto the outside of the right hip. Look back to the left hand if that feels good. Breathe. Every inhale, find that massage. Every exhale, find release. And we're back to center. Give a little squeeze. And we'll come into Shavasana of your choice. If there's another pose you'd like to take before Shavasana, hang out here for 5 minutes. Push stop, push pause. I want to keep this video under 30 minutes. So you can hang out here in Supta Baddha Konasana only if you can settle in Supta Baddha Konasana and it doesn't feel like stretching or strain. If it feels like stretching or strain, come into a more standard Shavasana. You want to be able to release into this space and just be here with your body, be here with your brain.
And be here with your breath. Stay here as long as you like. And when you're finished, just kind of give yourself a little thank you for taking this time to connect with your body, connect with your being. And now if you like this channel, please hit subscribe. And if you have anything, questions or comments, you can do so in the comment section. And give us a little thumbs up if you feel so inclined. And beyond that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.